Good afternoon, one and all present here. So, finally, after hard work by the coordinators and moderators and the entire organizing team and the paper presenters and the resource persons, we have arrived to the final ceremony, that is the valedictory ceremony of the online international conference on from micro-narratives to meta-narratives, reimagining criminal jurisprudence in a globalized world. Throughout the day, right from 9:30 in the morning, we have listened to many deliberations, including high esteemed dignitaries, Secretary General of National Human Rights Commission, to various distinguished professors from different countries like Sri Lanka, Mauritius, Bangladesh, and also many young researchers who have presented their papers, along with the experienced faculties also who have shared their insights through their paper presentations. And we are very much delighted and hope the same from on behalf of all those who have attended this international conference. So at the initial uh, timing of this valedictory ceremony, I would like to extend my heartiest welcome to one and all present here. I welcome Professor Dr. Gurpreet Punana ma'am. She is the Professor, Department of Law, Punjab University, and it is very much honor for us to have her presence in this auspicious occasion. I also welcome uh, Professor Dr. R.R. Biradar sir, absent here because due to some schedules he had to visit, as well as uh, some meetings are there. So absentia, I welcome him. I welcome Dr. Basavras M. Kubakadi sir, Dean School of Legal Studies, to this valedictory ceremony. And I welcome all the research scholars and students, including moderators and coordinators of the organizing team. I welcome my faculty colleagues, Dr. Anand sir and Renuka ma'am, for the valedictory session, and at last all the presenters and the attendees of the conference. We are very much delighted to have among us one of a distinguished personality, Professor Dr. Gurpreet Pannu ma'am, who is here as the chief guest of this valedictory session. She is she is serving in the Department of Law at Punjab University as professor, and she has more than 2 decades of teaching experience. She holds an LLM and PhD degree in law. She has held key administrative roles also, including Dean of the Faculty of Law, in charge of the second shift Department of Law, and various grievances and legal redressal bodies within the university. A noted expert in various subjects of law, specifically including criminal law and laws related to women and children. Ma'am guided 9 PhD scholars and numerous LLM dissertations in her academic career. Her academic contribution include the publication of 4 books and 71 research papers with 54 presentations at seminars and conferences across national and international platforms. Ma'am has actively contributed to curriculum and policy making as a member of numerous boards of studies, advisory committees, and educational boards across prominent institutions. She has also served as a keynote speaker, resource person, and session chair at multiple conferences, and has also coordinated legal aid camps and academic workshops. Ma'am's scholarly focus and leadership roles underlines her commitment to legal education, gender justice, and social empowerment through law. We are very much delighted to have such an inspiring personality among us, and I would request our chief guest to kindly enlighten the August gathering with her deliberation. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jain. So good evening to Dr. Baswaraj, Dr. R.R. Biradar, Dr. Jain, research scholars, participants, faculty members, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to be here today at the valedictory of this impactful conference. under the title of From Micronarratives to Metanarratives, Reimagining the Criminal Jurisprudence in Globalized World. So today there was a discussion on very, very important and significant as well as the current issues relating to different types of micronarratives as well as the metanarratives. And there was a robust debate on the main theme as well as the sub-themes of the conference. And the speakers expressed their views on divergent topics, for example, restorative justice, perspectives of criminal justice system, future of criminal jurisprudence, ICC, global justice, cyber crimes in metaverse, community service, a feminist criminological analysis of female criminals, so far and so on. The national and the international criminal justice system today face a number of emerging challenges in today's global landscape. Transnational crimes, including intercountry human smuggling, terrorism, human trafficking, drug trafficking, and organized crimes, present a very, very complex jurisdictional issues, and it requires enhanced international cooperation. The rise of cybercrime poses a unique challenges in investigating and prosecuting the crimes committed in the digital realm. The threat of terrorism and its evolving nature demands the innovative approaches to addressing the complex web of factors involved. Additionally, combating illicit financial flows such as money laundering and corruption requires concerted efforts to dismantle the networks and ensure the accountability in both domestic as well as international context. The recent years have witnessed the emergence of new trends in the international criminal justice. So I would like to quote here two examples. For example, the hybrid courts which have been established in the form of special courts for Sierra Leone and the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia. So I think we all are aware about this fact that these type of courts have been established to tackle certain types of issues relating to the humanitarian law, violation of the human rights, etc. So advanced technology, including the digital forensics, data analysis, and artificial intelligence, are increasingly employed to investigate the complex crimes and analyze large volumes of evidence. Alternative mechanisms such as community-based justice initiatives and restorative justice practices are also gaining attention as means to complement the traditional punitive approaches and promote the reconciliation. So I think that today is the era, or today is the time where we cannot just focus on the punitive theories, but we will have to go to certain other alternative methods and the modes in this concern. It's an impact of the digital transformation on the criminal law, including the proliferation of cybercrimes and role of digital evidence. It shows how the narrative surrounding gender, race, and class influence the application and reformation of the criminal laws. The international legal principles play an important role in the reformation of the criminal legal system at the municipal level. There is an interplay between the individual narratives and universal legal frameworks in context of the criminal jurisprudence. At the onset, when India recently witnessed a massive transformation in its criminal laws, so that was the time when all the all the criminal laws, I mean IPC, CRPC, and Indian Evidence Act, these were substituted by the new legislations, that is BNS, BNSS, and the BSA. In the year in 24, it was enforced, and these legislations were passed in the year 2023. So this type of transformation in the criminal laws An examination of such an interplay becomes very, very vital for assessing the viability of such a transformation, considering the global dynamic scenario. The criminal justice system is a set of laws, processes, and the institutions that aim to prevent, detect, prosecute, and punish the crimes, while ensuring the rights and safety of the public or the people at large. It includes the institutions like police forces, judicial institutions, legislative bodies, and other supportive organizations like forensic and investigation agencies. Technology basically means the use of application of science in everyday and ordinary activities allow the criminal investigators to apprehend the perpetrators of crime and bring justice to the society. Innovative and the application of advanced ideas in investigation of crimes, criminal litigation, and administration of criminal justice plays a vital role in detecting the organized crime and fighting the terrorism. With the support of effective communication network and numerous other tracking devices, it plays a vital part in catching or in apprehending the criminals. Today, there are various advanced technologies which are used in India's criminal justice system. So, I would like to quote here some of the examples. For example, the global positioning system, that is usually called as GPS, and we are all familiar with it. Then the global information system, CCTVs, robots, drones, thermal imaging cameras, gunshot detection technology, big data, electronic breath alcohol test, body worn cameras, forensic photography, artificial intelligence, biometrics, etc. The participants in this conference discussed in the intensive discussion that how these type of technologies play an important role in the identification of prospective suspects and suspicious activities and fighting the terrorism, cyber crimes, which are a sort of global issues. It's not a problem of one country or the other. So these advanced technologies have played a major role in surveillance, patrolling, search and rescue, locating the missing people, crime investigation, monitoring large rallies and parades, collection of the evidence, investigation process, and the court proceedings. Technological advancements have become a key instrument for improving the efficiency, promoting transparency, accountability, and serving justice to society. As today the society is more moving towards the digitalization, incorporation of advanced technologies into criminal justice system has led to redefinition of traditional approaches towards the criminal justice system. So now we have reached at the end of this one-day international conference with various types of issues raised and discussed along with the part of sub-themes of this conference. So this conference has brought together the intelligent minds, very, very brilliant, very, very intelligent minds with torrents of information, ideas, and have shared wealth of experiences and the knowledge. A platform such as this encourages the collaboration, interconnectivity, and the lasting friendship. So I will suggest to all the participants to continue dialogue and collaboration initiated in the form of this conference. So let's carry the spirit of collaboration and intellectual curiosity forward. So I wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the organizers for providing me this opportunity to be here with the young minds. And I wish you all the very, very best for your future endeavors. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Your words might have definitely inspired the young researchers and the participants like us to conduct the research and continue the dialogue as you have instructed us. And definitely we'll try to contribute towards the legal academia as well as the legal fraternity certain valuable contributions so that we can make access to justice possible across the country. With this, I once again thank Professor Dr. Gurpreet Pannu ma'am for giving her valuable time and allowing us to have a little exposure towards her deliberation. Thank you, ma'am. Now, moving ahead, I would like to request Ragini Rajbor, Research Scholar, Department of Law, Central University of Karnataka, to please present the summary of the entire international conference. Ragini, are you here? Miss Ragini?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Your voice is little low. Just check it.
Is it better, sir?
Quite better. Okay, you can continue.
So let me know if the PPT is visible.
Till now, yes, now it is visible.
It is visible.
Um, Actually, Gurpreet ma'am has almost covered everything what I had to say, but because I had been given the task, I'll continue with this. Welcome all to this valedictory ceremony of our one-day online international conference on the perspective of micro-narrative to meta-narrative, reimagining criminal jurisprudence in a globalized world. I'd like to start by a presentation of this whole summarizing of the conference with the inaugural ceremony. Today, we had the privilege and honor to have Shri Bharatlal ji as a Secretary General of the National Human Rights Commission of India as our chief guest. We had S.S. Mittal Kaur ji, President of Karnataka State Bar Council, Bangalore, as guest of honor. We had our Honorable Vattu Satyanarayan sir, Vice Chancellor of Central University of Karnataka, as the President of the inaugural ceremony. Bharatlaji talked about how India's global position is in the international laws. He talked about how soft power is rooted in our constitutional values like democracy, free elections, human rights, environmental conservation, which have evolved through centuries and now align with the international laws that we have right now as par. Shri Bharatlal also talked about the current trends as jailer overcrowding with prisoners, inmates, and also there are increase of under trial inmates also. He also talked about how we can reimagine jurisprudence from voices of the marginalized people to the pillars of parliament. Then we had the release of our book of abstracts by Shri S.S. Mittal Kaurji. And finally, our Honorable Vice Chancellor sir talked about the demand of high quality lawyers, stressing their crucial roles as teachers, as a pillar of society for the societal progress, and how we can achieve India's vision of 2047 through that. We also had two plenary sessions uh, chaired by 6 female Pinal ma'am, Professor Jiva ma'am from Sri Lanka, Professor Prema from India, Professor Bhavna ma'am from Mauritius, Professor Vityajaya ma'am from Mauritius, Professor Christine ma'am from Bangladesh, and Professor Savita ma'am from India. And the first plenary session, it was on multi-dimensional perspective of criminal jurisprudence. The resource persons talked about how global restorative justice can be seen, bridging the local and universal ideals. And they also talked about the global criminal jurisprudence as of now, and what are the universal legal principles. In the second plenary session on women, crime in society, a cross-sectional analysis, the resource persons talked about the act of violence against women. They focused on the roles of International Court of Justice in addressing violence against women, criminal law and women's rights. They talked about examining the intersection
Ragini,
of criminal law. Yes,
sorry
sir.
to interrupt. Are you moving the slides?
Is it not moving? I'm so sorry. Is it visible now? I can
Yes, now it's
do it now. Is it visible now, sir?
Yes, now it is moving.
Okay, sir. I will continue here. Now, I was talking about the second plenary session that the resource persons talked about the act of violence against women. They talked about the importance of the role of International Court of Justice, criminal law and women's rights. They also talked about the examination of intersection of criminal law and the protection of women's right, crime against women, and they talked that it addresses various crimes against women, including sexual harassment. Then we had 6 technical sessions in our conference. 1A, B, C, and 2D, E, F. First 3 were parallelly in the morning session, and second 3 were in the afternoon parallel sessions. They talked about global perspective of criminal jurisprudence, comparative discussions on criminal jurisprudence, theories and philosophies, digital criminology, Indian's perspective of criminal jurisprudence, and interdisciplinary considerations also. It is interesting to note that we had the highest number of participants who submitted their abstracts for interdisciplinary approaches. And among our presenters, almost equally it was divided among students, assistant professor and research scholars, as 30% students, 32% professors were there. Some associate professors were also there. Then 38% of research scholars presented papers which were selected for the presentation. There were around 40 papers selected for the presentations in our conference, ranging on different technical sessions. The first technical session, session A1, was on global perspective of criminal jurisprudence. It was chaired by Professor Jiva ma'am. It was chaired by Professor Jiva ma'am, and the presenters talked about the global evolution of jurisprudence by various topics such as the key legislation that we have, the institutional mechanism at the global level, judicial precedents at the global level, and some also suggested that there can be improvements in the ICC and UNSC. And they also talked about the technological impacts at the global level in the criminal jurisprudence, and highlighted the role of Indian judiciary also at the global stage. Then we had technical session 1B, the second technical session on comparative discussion on criminal jurisprudence. It was chaired by Prema ma'am and co-chaired by Chandrika ma'am. And the presenters talked about justice principles, framework and rehabilitation, the cyber crime, the digital age of offense, how the crime is being reshaped now in different perspective of cyber world. Then the presenters also talked about the core legal discussions on criminal jurisprudence, criminal laws regime as compared to the different national systems in India and abroad. They also talked about domestic violence and issues within the family settings as a comparative setup. Then the technical session 3.1c was on theory and philosophies. It was chaired by Bhavna ma'am and Anand sir. The presenters talked about a shift from retributive justice to rehabilitative approach and witness protection reforms, how we can enhance and update existing witness protection systems. They also talked about feminist lens on crime, how to understand women in crime through broader feminist perspective. There was also a presentation on suicide note caution, how we have to recognize the potential of misuse of suicide notes and legal proceedings. And lastly, there was a presentation on to enact a code to involve law enforcement on intellectual property infringement cases. Then we had 3 parallel sessions in the afternoon, 2D, which talked about the digital criminology, and it involved how technology impacts the law and society. It was chaired by Dr. Vitijaya ma'am and Dr. Arvind sir. The paper presenters had talked about how AI can play a dual role in transforming evidence that has been gathered, and how it can raise ethical concerns also in war crimes. Then we have presentations on need for cyber laws, that the legislation needed to combat evolving cybercrime, because as the technology is evolving, the crime are also evolving with that. Then presentations also talked about the juvenile justice frameworks, that we can adopt the cybercrime impact in that. Then how jurisdictional challenges can occur, and determining the jurisdiction in cross-border cyber crimes, because now in the digital technology, the crime has evolved trans-border also. The presenters also talked about digitalization of the how we can prevent crime depending on the governance, and how the fragmented governance can improve that. Then the lastly one presentation talked about the new laws need to update the digital crime prosecution. Technical session 2E was on Indian perspective of criminal jurisprudence. It talked about the current state of the implementation and resource allocation, the procedural laws, and how we need to adapt to the technological changes. Public awareness, the presenters talked about the strengthening of forensic credibility in India. And forensic science, there was a paper we talked about the emphasis of scientific evidence in investigation, capacity building, and training for the investigative agencies. As we know, we have launched 13 new forensic universities in the country to develop the infrastructure regarding forensic science, especially regarding the collection of the evidences. Then lastly, one presenter talked about the victim-centered approach, and we can approach the victim-centered justice model. This session was chaired by Professor Christine ma'am and Dr. Renuka ma'am. And then lastly, there was a session on interdisciplinary consideration, and this session was chaired by Professor Savita ma'am and Dr. R.G. Kulkarni sir. The presenters, there were 6 presentations, and the presentation talked about the criminal responsibility, how we can rethink criminal responsibility and insanity defense in India. And there was an interesting paper on crime against men also, where the presenter talked about how we need to shift the focus from crime against women to crime against men. And there was a paper on criminal copyright infringement in Indian biotechnology as well, and how digital scams are rising and socio-economic offenses are being created through this digital age, targeting women and children. So we need to focus on that also. The presenters talked about the forced displacement through a book by Amitav Ghosh on gun silence. Lastly, there was a presentation on criminology under constitutional jurisprudence. These were this presentation at the last technical session. I like to bow of gratitude to the ones who illuminate our path with wisdom and grace, by thanking Professor Bhattu Satyanarayan sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor sir of our Central University of Karnataka, Dr. R.R. Biradar sir in his absentia, Dr. Baswaraj M. Kubukadi sir, Dean School of Legal Studies, for always encouraging us to participate and organize, because these kind of events not only gives us a knowledgeable insight, but also make us ready for the real world, all the students. So I'd like to thank Dr. Anand sir, Dr. Renuka ma'am as well for helping in organizing this conference. And lastly, Dr. Jayanta sir, who is the conference coordinator, for organizing this and helping all the students to understand how we can approach criminal jurisprudence through a multidisciplinary approach, and how we need to broaden our perspective from micro to meta narrative. I'd like to also thank the research scholars, Mr. Pavan, Mr. Krishna, Raman, Tapesh, Aditya, Rifai, for helping in organizing this conference. LLM second year students, Minakshi, Vijayalakshmi, Vasga, Pooja M. Madhu. LLM first year students, Prajalita, Pooja Kumari, Sandeep Kumar Mishra, Pravil Akhtar Mola, Gulshan Kumar, Manish Bharti, Saikat Ghosh, and Akanksha. Without these students, arranging and organizing a conference at this international level wouldn't have been possible. Thank you so much for attending this conference and presenting your research works with us at this platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajini. Actually, the next agenda is the promotion of formal vote of thanks, but I think you have individually thanked the members whoever has joined today for the conference and whoever is responsible for the conference. Anyways, as a formality, I'd like to take the privilege of extending the formal vote of thanks before the conclusion of the valedictory session. First and foremost, I sincerely thank the chief guest of the valedictory session, Professor Dr. Gurpreet Pannu ma'am, Professor, Department of Law, Punjab University, for joining this session and for accepting the invitation at a very short notice. We are very much thankful for her, and this shows her dedication towards the academia. I would also like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central University of Karnataka, Professor Dr. Vatu Satyanarayan sir. His motivation, his inspiration, even his presence during the inaugural ceremony motivated all of us to conduct this conference in a smooth manner. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to our respected registrar, Professor Dr. R.R. Biradar sir, Central University of Karnataka, for his dedicated efforts in building up an environment where this academic discourse can take place smoothly. The most sincere thanks goes to the Dean of School of Legal Studies and also the Head Department of Law, Dr. Basavras M. Kubakadi sir, under whose guidance, cooperation, and coordination this event has been successfully conducted. I'd like to thank my senior colleague, Dr. Anand D. Sinsure sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Law, Central University of Karnataka, for his assistance throughout the conduct of the session, because he has with more experience than me, and his experience really matters during the smooth conduct. I would also like to thank Dr. Renuka ma'am for her guidance. Yesterday, she herself came to me and extended her support and mentorship to the moderators of the international conference, and it was really nice of her, and it has really helped us, and it has also built confidence among the students who have actually moderated and coordinated the sessions. Next, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to all the research scholars who has dedicatedly supported in the smooth conduct, specifically being Krishna, Ragini, Pawan, Tapesh, all the research scholars. Already Ragini has beautifully named them, and they have the backbone behind the conduct of this conference. Next, and most importantly, I would like to thank the student coordinators and the moderators from the PG department. Actually, till last night, they were working with me till night 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And while I was planning for this conference, I was little suspicious that whether students will take this seriously or not. And really, the students have proved that they are very much serious and they are very much excited in conducting this kind of conference. Without their help, this won't have been possible. The coordinators, they were one-to-one interacting with the resource persons, chairpersons, as well as the paper presenters, and as a result, we have achieved in this international online conference 100% paper presenters. Those who have registered, they all have presented. Then that is a big achievement, because this is my 25th occasion when I am organizing this international conference or national conferences. But till date, I have never seen any single conference where 100% paper presenters have been possible. And this is a very big achievement. This is only because of the students. And most importantly, the schedule was a very tight schedule, including 10 sessions in one single day, starting from inaugural ceremony to valedictory ceremony, then 4 technical sessions and 2 plenary sessions. It was a very tough time to spare any kind of, liberty with respect to time management. And it is only because of the students who have hold it very tight and they have coordinated in such a manner, the time management was very much possible. And we are at the time where we have decided to finish the conference at 5:30 and we are going to finish it at 5:30. We started at 9:30. The credit goes to the students. So with this, I'd also like to thank all the technical staff, non-teaching, teaching, whoever I could not have recalled during my extension of vote of thanks. Possibly their role in the smooth conduct of the conference is really invaluable. And at last but not the least, all the paper presenters, participants, attendees, without whom this conference won't have been a meaningful one, for their cooperation, coordinations, and contribution towards the smooth conduct of the international conference. I, on behalf of the Department of Law, Central University of Karnataka, sincerely extend my deepest gratitude. Finally, all with the grace of Almighty and with an expectation to meet all of you in future also in similar events, and with the hope that we'll be blessed by the Almighty to be able to conduct such kind of opportunities in future also, I would like to declare that this session is concluded. Thank you. Thank you all and all.